our power situation is not good. It's unreliable. We need to look at a different solution there. For power, maybe lithium-ion batteries are in store for us next. Good morning and welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is going to be an exciting day because we will be installing a new power system into our Jeep to replace our power stations, our portable power stations that we've been carrying around with us over the last 4 years. So with that, we do have the REDODO 165 amp hour LifePo battery right here that the good folks over at REDODO sent us over to review and test. Right off the bat, my friends, this is not going to be a technical review because we are not technical people, we're practical people. So what we will do is we will be showing you how we're going to install this thing into our Jeep, and then we will be taking it camping to actually see how efficient it is to run our fridge, all of our camera gear, as well as hopefully our diesel heater. It's been a very, very warm winter here on Vancouver Island, so in order to test it properly, we would really like to have some cold weather to run the diesel heater. But that's to be determined. So we'll do that. Real life testing, all the technical details for that will be in the description down below if you're interested in that. Since I am by no means any expert to install anything electrical, we'll just have to go ahead and see someone who knows what he's doing. So let's go ahead and do that, and once we're done with the install, we're gonna go camping together and see how the REDODO 165 amp hour battery performs at camp when we're actually using it for what it's meant to be used. Let's go ahead and do that. We are here at Harry's.
Hello.
And Harry just had a brilliant idea on how we're gonna install the whole thing.
I think it's the most ideal thing for what they have. And it's not a beauty competition. We could hide it and make it look all pretty, but I'm all about accessibility, and we have scrap material to make this idea work. So
we're getting serious.
We're getting serious. I'm sure 3.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, I think the most work was running the cable from the engine side through here. I mean, they have a hole in the firewall that Jeep made, which was nice, but it was really tight to get it through here and find a place to route the wire. That took most of our day.
But we have got this really nice custom-made bracket right here now, which is amazing.
It was some scrap material I had kicking around. I'm sure you guys seen it earlier. We gave it a paint job. Put in a few extra speed holes because we had to move stuff a few times. And inside of it, there's a DC to DC charger. And what else was in there? No, that's it. Yeah, we're gonna put the inverter up here.
We got the breaker in there too.
And then yeah, the breaker in there, which you can stick your hand in there and reset the breaker if something happens.
And a whole bunch of cables back there.
And yeah, all the cables for basically the battery are in there. Let's go.
That is pretty tight. That is not.
That's not going nowhere.
Anywhere.
I like that.
That is pretty cool. All right, this is all set up, and it's absolutely brilliant because it's taking care of basically dead space in the Jeep. So absolutely brilliant. A much better idea than placing it underneath the board like we had planned before. We do have our 12-volt plugs right here to plug in, at least for now, our diesel heater and our fridge as well. So we've got those two here, perfectly set up, all nice and snug in there. Absolutely perfect. Thanks, Harry.
No worries.
That was a long day, my friend.
That was. We spent more time trying to route that wire.
Yeah.
Holger ordered the thickest stuff that he could. It's actually really smart. It's a great thing to do, but we didn't really anticipate it. Not going in between the plastic pieces, the trim. So we had to kind of go underneath the carpet. It was a lot of work, but
yeah.
I think the system was good though. Like it looks great.
Custom build bracket.
That's aluminum, so it's super strong,
yeah.
And everything's hidden and protected.
Anyways, I think we're gonna go camping, so we're gonna see you at camp next. See you there. Okay, welcome to camp. We just rolled in and it's finally time to test the REDODO here that we had installed. After the install, we put in a 300 watt inverter that we use for charging our equipment. We do have a little extra charger here that we purchased that we're gonna attach to this so that we can charge more things at once. What we'll do is we'll run the diesel heater for 2 nights. We will run our fridge pretty much all day for 2 days straight, and we will be charging our drone batteries and camera batteries and our phones and what have you. So we'll try to charge everything on like we usually would on a normal camping trip, and then we will be seeing where we're at by the end of the camping trip. And to monitor everything to see how much power we actually use over the next 2 days, we just look at our app and we are currently at 99% charge for the battery. Why exactly it's 99%, we're not quite sure because we've been driving all day and should be at 100%. But nonetheless, we will see where we're at by the end of the next 2 days and we will let you know. So first night of camping in the books. Let's have a quick look at the power situation after 1 night of camping. We had the diesel heater running pretty much all night last night on low, and then charged camera gear and our phones. So let's have a look at where we're at. Remember last night we were, when we got here we were at 99%. So let's have a look here. And we are currently at 82%. So that means 17% used out of the 165 amp hours that we have with the battery. That is pretty good, actually. Pretty happy about that. So we'll see where we're going to be at tonight. I'm probably going to be charging a bit more camera gear today because I haven't charged the drone batteries yet. So I will have to do that, and then we'll see where we're going to end up, and we'll definitely need to run the diesel heater tonight again. So looking forward to how it looks like tomorrow morning. Let's find out. It is the next morning, and currently we're packing up, and we have the diesel heater right now blasting just to get rid of a few things and to dry out the tent just a little bit more, get rid of the little bit of moisture in there. Let's have a look where we're at with our power situation here, and we are at 62%. So we have got 107 amp hours left, which means that over the last 2 nights of camping, running everything from the fridge to our batteries to the diesel heater overnight, we used 37% of the battery. In theory, that would mean we could be comfortably camping in one spot in cold weather for about 4 days. That is fantastic. We've never been able to do that before. Not that we're going to be staying for 4 days, but in theory we could, basing it on what we have used over the last 2 days. We're going to pack up, we're going to go home, and then I'm going to give you my final thoughts on the REDODO. So far so good, but final thoughts once we get back home. Okay, we made it back over to Vancouver Island after our camping trip over to the mainland, testing out the REDODO 165 amp hour battery, and we have to say the first impressions are pretty good. We could have comfortably stayed for 2 more nights for a total of 4 nights, and then probably an additional day, but that would have probably been pushing it. Either way, first impressions very, very good of the REDODO. Let's go a little bit more into detail. One of the things we absolutely love about it is the amount of space that it's actually saving us while we're going on big trips. Loading up for a camping trip, I already noticed that there's way more space all of a sudden, because let me show you what the REDODO is going to be replacing. These are the two power stations that we've previously been taking with us when we go camping, and they've done a fine job doing that. But as you can see, they take up a lot of space in the vehicle, and in a Jeep, space is at a premium. And when we were loading up for the trip, we already noticed with just the REDODO installed where it's installed, it works perfectly fine because it is dead space where the battery is installed. So they do have their place, but I think we found our replacement with the REDODO. Look at this. Perfectly situated right here. Absolutely no space wasted right there. Now, this clearly is a little bit more of a permanent install that we have here, but it's well worth it because we don't need to carry it around. It sits here, it charges while we're driving. So it is taking a little bit more to install the battery in a proper spot, especially if you've got a Jeep, because as I said, space is at a premium. If you do have a motorhome, an RV, or a truck and camper, it's probably a lot easier to install those batteries and find a space for it where it makes the most sense. For us, this makes the most sense. It lives in here permanently and it charges while we're driving. Like I showed you at camp, we left camp at 62% battery left on the REDODO. By the time we hit the pavement, we checked and it had already charged back up to 100%, and that was within an hour and a half. We should have actually checked the time, we didn't, but I would say from zero, this would probably charge up within 3.5 hours while driving. Absolutely brilliant for longer road trips. This is exactly what you want. One of my favorite features of this whole thing is actually the app. I'm not a big fan of apps and I don't like Bluetooth, but the Bluetooth app for the battery really helps out you monitoring the charge of the battery without having to have a big setup anywhere else that you need to install on top of that. So the app really helps you out monitoring your power consumption throughout. I hope this little review was helpful. If you're in the market for a REDODO or a LifePo battery, we would highly recommend the REDODO. They do have more options on their website, so I will be leaving a link down below in the description for you if you want to check them out. Customer service also excellent from what we've experienced so far. All the technical details for the REDODO will be down in the description for you if you're interested in that. Highly recommend looking it up, but that would be too long of a video, or me talking for too long. Details will be down in the description for the REDODO. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.